at this e-methanol conference today. What do you think about scaling India's green methanol future at this moment?
I think that is a real alternative for India's energy transition. There is no question about it. The technology is available. It will require some partnerships that need to be formed, and I'm happy to be here actually today because there is here in effect a partnership between an Icelandic corporate and an Indian entity, and I think that's what it takes. The technology is available in my country. We've been developing carbon capture and then for use or for actually storage as well. We have technology that can achieve both. So I think that is what is necessary. But I also think that it's high time now for India and Iceland to go together on this route and move forward with actual projects, and that's what we are discussing here today.
Right. The measures that Iceland is taking, as you were saying, it's quite commendable, but given the geographical factors of Iceland in this particular aspect and India's geographical factor, how do you think, what is the practical way that Iceland can help India in producing this sort of renewable energy?
It's through technology transfer. We have this technology. We have entities who have sort of developed this technology, and you don't need to bring any sort of particular components of the technology that's being proposed. So the geographical distance or something has no relevance whatsoever. It's really about, finding the right partnerships to form where you actually then both can benefit from it. This is about bringing benefits to the societies, but also to the entities that are doing it. So it is a pure sort of transfer of technology that is available, and India, and what you have here in India, which you don't have in many other places, is that you have the opportunity to scale this up at an unprecedented.
Given India's targets for achieving this sort of renewable energy, but there is also this factor that there is no sort of solid infrastructure right now in place.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that India can achieve this target, and how can Iceland help us in this?
Well, I think I do understand what you mean when you say that the infrastructure and the system, the grid and otherwise isn't already all there. But some of the when you're working with renewables, these are localized. These are resources that exist where you are. So you don't necessarily need to transport, the technology, the benefits, which is either, let's say, hot water if it's geothermal or electricity. Those technologies, just like sun, wind, geothermal, they can serve the local communities, and that is what's the most important. What we need to do is, if we are to achieve our climate goals as a globe, as a globe, then we have to, first of all, eradicate energy poverty. We have to strengthen energy security, and renewables are exactly prime for that because they are local, and you can use them for the local benefits. So, for example, in the case where Iceland has been supporting India, has been in geothermal. That's mainly up in the northern regions, where there's an abundance of low-temperature geothermal fluids, and through those activities, you can benefit the communities up there, both bringing to them facilities that can help them with their agricultural production, for example, drying or cooling. But you can also, use it for space heating, and eventually we're going to see if we can go and generate electricity through geothermal, which we have been doing for many, many, many years. And you don't need to transport that anywhere. That's for the local. That's how you solve some of these local community issues, by giving them access to clean, renewable energy on spot. You see? So you don't need to think about in all of those terms. Of course, the bigger metropolitan areas are going to need huge energy, And for that, you will need different kinds of technologies, like all the hydropower that's coming from the north being distributed down into you will continue to build that up through different technologies. But there are lots of pockets of where you lack energy security and access to clean energy, and the renewable resources such as geothermal, sun, wind, and etc. They can serve those communities on spot. So you don't need to really, be bothered to it. So it's a complex picture, but what we are doing is to see how we can help serve, communities that are in need of better security, energy security, and access to clean energy.
One final question. How do you think the FTA is going to help in this aspect?
Well, it is a generational agreement. The Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement that we refer to as TEPA. What's important there is that there is a dedicated chapter to investments, and I think that is where the 4 FTA countries have pledged to invest in the Indian economy, what amounts to $100 billion over the next decade or so. That is helpful. That is very helpful. That means that, there is a dedication, there is a commitment on behalf of the 4 countries, the EFTA countries, to bring funding. And I think that can help, actually, because we have identified sectors such as the climate, green solutions, and clean energy. We've identified them as prime, to seek, collaboration with the Indians. So I think the TEPA agreement is significantly important because it not only serves services and products, but it also has this investment chapter, and I think that can be a key to the green, bringing the green solutions that exist in the 4 countries.